today it's time for the concluding chapter of Beehive. Chapter 11, If I Were You by Douglas James. Now this is a play which has a lot of wit around it. It's a very witty play. You will understand once we go through it. So before we move on, let's talk of Douglas James. He is an American author, activist and Christian theologian. Theologian is basically, when you have faith in religion, in the practice, so it's all about it. He is a graduate of Santa Clara University. He and his wife, Shelley Douglas, founded the Ground Zero Center for Nonviolent Action in Paulsbo, Washington, and Mary's House, a Catholic worker house in Birmingham, Alabama. Now, that's the plot. Well, this is a play like I told you, and here you'll know what I'm talking about and why did I call it witty. If I Were You is the story of an intruder breaking into a lonely house. An intruder is that person who comes when he's not even wanted. So it's unwanted, uninvited. And breaking means it's like a robber breaking into the house. That's how we say it. A man named Gerard lives here. The intruder is a criminal. Obviously, only a criminal will enter like this. He has killed a policeman and is now on the run. Now, the thing is, he has killed a policeman and now he's escaping. He's running from them so that he's not caught. What is his plan? His plan is to kill Gerard and live there under his name. He wants to live as another identity. But Gerard is smarter than the criminal, and you will know it how. He offers to take the intruder in his car to safety. He opens a door and tells the intruder that it goes to the garage. As soon as the intruder enters, Gerard locks the door. The play thus brings out that intelligence and presence of mind can help us come out of the trickiest of situations. However tricky your situation may be, but if you have the presence of mind at that point of time instead of getting panicky, and if you are intelligent enough, you can overcome those challenges. So let's see how the play has been set up. It's a small cottage interior. It's a simple house forming part of a farm. That's a cottage. There is an entrance back right which may be curtained. Now, this they are telling you when you want to put it up, a setup on the stage. So they have given you all the instructions. Another door to the left must be a practical door, an actual door. It's not just a show thing. You can actually come and go. The furniture is simple, consisting of a small table towards the left, a chair or two, and a divan rather upstage on the right. What's a divan? It's a long, low sofa without a back or arms. Generally, a sofa has a back and arm support, but divan does not. On the table is a telephone. Well, that's the setup on the stage. Now, when the curtain rises, Gerard is standing by the table making a phone call. He is of medium height and wearing horn-rimmed glasses. He is dressed in a lounge suit. You all know what's a lounge suit, right? Where the jacket and the trousers are matching. That's called a lounge suit. And a great coat, an overcoat. His voice is cultured. Cultured as in it is refined. It is like an educated thing. So that's how it was. Now he's calling up. He's made a call. Well, tell him to phone up directly. I must know. Yes, I expect I'll still be here, but you mustn't count on that. In about 10 minutes time, righto, goodbye. Now he had a conversation with somebody. He puts down the phone and goes to the divan on the left, where there is a traveling bag, and starts packing. Whilst he is thus engaged, while he was busy doing that, another man similar in build to Gerard, that means, body height, everything similar, right? He was well built, exactly just like Gerard, enters from the right suddenly, revolver in hand. He comes with a revolver in hand. He is flashily dressed in an overcoat and a soft hat. He bumps accidentally against the table. I mean, he did not realize that there's a table and he just bangs against it. And at the sound, Gerard turns quickly. He just says, okay, some sound, and obviously we just hear something suddenly. So we look back to see what it is. And he saw it. Gerard, pleasantly, why? This is a surprise, eh? And like, he doesn't even know him. So it's like a surprise for him. The intruder. I'm glad you are pleased to see me. I don't think you'll be pleased for long. Put those paws up. It's like, hands up. Gerard, this is all very melodramatic. Melodramatic as in overly emotional, exaggerated. What do you mean by put your paws up? Not very original perhaps, but he's just trying to just talk it out to him, the intruder. Trying to be calm and he's like, you're trying to be calm. Nonchalant is your word, I think. Now remember, he was the educated one. Feeling or appearing casually calm and relaxed. Now, knowing the fact that he is someone else, he's like an intruder because he's just come in. If it had been a friend or someone, he would have knocked at the door, rang the bell, but this guy just walks in, so obviously. But still, Gerard keeps his cool. He was calm. So this is what they're trying to discuss. He's saying, you're trying to be a little calm, huh? Intruder, thanks a lot. You'll soon stop being smart. I'll make you crawl. I want to know a few things, see? He says, okay, now I want to know a few things and you better just, in spite of seeing that revolver in the hand and still he's calm, that means, he's really trying to act smart. Anything you like, Gerard says. I know all the answers. But before we begin, I should like to change my position. You may be comfortable, but I am not. He says, you know what? Just let me be comfortable. I am just like this. I'm not comfortable. So maybe you are standing there, you're comfortable, but not me. Intruder, sit down there and no funny business. Don't you dare try to do anything. It motions to a chair and seats himself on the divan by the bag. Now he just tells him, okay, you go sit there, I'm sitting right here. Now then, we'll have a nice little talk about yourself. Now can you tell me why did the intruder want to talk about Gerard? You remember in the plot, he wanted to kill him and live as him under his identity. So obviously, okay, here is the divan. Obviously, he wanted to know about him to become, to stay exactly like him so that people don't suspect him, they don't doubt him. Gerard, at last a sympathetic audience. Sympathetic as in showing approval of or favor towards an idea or action. So, he told him, okay, go sit down. He just became, so he says, oh, thank God for the sympathy. At least you gave me a comfortable place to sit. I'll tell you the story of my life. How as a child I was stolen by the gypsies. Who are the gypsies? These are the nomadic or the free-spirited people. They keep moving from place to place. Yeah. So they don't have one place to live in. They keep nomadic life as in they keep traveling from one place to another. And these people had stolen him. And why? At the age of 32, I find myself in my lonely Essex cottage. How? He says, I was stolen then and then finally at the age of 32, I am here. How? And he still continues when the intruder says, keep it to yourself. I don't want to know that. And just answer my questions. You live here alone? Well, do you? Now, intruder says, look, I don't want your whole history. I don't want the whole Ram Katha of yours. You tell me exactly what I am going to ask you. You answer me only that. So his first question was, you live here alone? Well, do you? Gerard, I'm sorry. I thought you were telling me and not asking me. A question of inflection, your voice is unfamiliar. Inflection as in variation of the pitch or tone. Now, when you are asking a question, your tone is different. Do you live here? That's a question. You live here alone. Now, you live here alone or you live here alone, the variation is there. So, he said, I thought you are telling me and not asking me. Intruder with emphasis. Do you live here alone? Gerard says, and if I don't answer? You've got enough sense not to want to get hurt. He says, I think you have the sense. I have a revolver in the hand and I'm sure you don't want to get hurt. Gerard, I think good sense is shown more in the ability to avoid pain than in the mere desire to do so. He says, you know what? I think good sense is shown more in the ability to avoid the pain. You should apply your sense so that you don't get that pain, you know. Definitely not. So that's where we apply our brain. Than in the mere desire. You don't just wish it. You make sure you act upon it. What do you think, Mr. Now he doesn't know his name, right? He's trying to get to his name again and again. What do you think about it? And the intruder says, never mind my name. Just forget it. I like yours better, Mr. Gerard. He's saying, I prefer your name. What are your Christian names? Now, you know, they had names, you know, when they were born, like we have also our traditional old names. So he says, what are your Christian names? And he says, Winston Charles. Do you run a car? No. That's a lie. You are not dealing with a fool. Don't think I am a fool. Don't lie to me. I'm as smart as you and smarter. In fact, I'm way smarter than you. And I know you run a car. Better be careful, wise guy. He's warning him. He's saying, look, you don't act smart with me. Please answer me correctly. Gerard, are you American or is it that merely a clever imitation? He says, are you American, that accent, or are you just trying to copy that accent? Are you trying to just fake it? Listen, this gun's no toy. This revolver which I have in my hand, no, it's not a toy. I can hurt you without killing you and still get my answers. He says, I'm way smarter handling this gun. I can literally hurt you even without killing you. I'm very good at all this. Of course, if you put it like that, I'll be glad to assist you. Okay, fine. If that's the case, I'm here to help you. I do possess a car and it's in the garage round the corner. He says, yes, I do possess a car. I do have a car and it's in the garage and it's just round the corner. It's just there. That's better. Do people often come out here? Do people come to visit you? I mean, do you have visitors at your place? Gerard, very rarely, you know, sometimes, kabhi ekdam rarely sometimes. Surprisingly, few people take the trouble to visit me. He says surprisingly, very, you know, out of surprise, sometimes a few people do come. There's the baker and the greengrocer, of course. Now, the baker comes, the greengrocer, you know, he's a retailer of fruits and vegetables. So, yeah, they do come to pay a visit, of course. And then there's the milkman, quite charming, but no one so interesting as yourself. He's saying these guys come, but no one as interesting as you has ever come. Intruder, I happen to know that you never see tradespeople. He's saying that means the tradespeople are the people engaged in trade, typically on a relatively small scale. That means no business people come to see you, no tradespeople. Gerard, you seem to have taken a considerable amount of trouble. He says, I think you have already, you know, got some information. You're just trying to get it. Since you know so much about me, won't you say something about yourself? You have been so modest. You have been so humble. He says, you already know so much about me by now. Why don't you tell me about yourself? You've been so good till now. Intruder, I could tell you plenty. You think you are smart, but I'm the top of the class round here. I am way smarter than you think. I've got brains and I use them. Remember this line. I've got brains and I use them. That's how I've got where I have. He says, look, I'm very smart. I'm really intelligent. So that's the reason today I am where I am and what I have. Gerard, and where precisely have you got? It didn't require a great brain to break into my little cottage. He's saying, oh really? So to come into my cottage, you think you have used that big brain of yours? It's not even required. Intruder, when you know why I've broken into your little cottage, you'll be surprised and it won't be a pleasant surprise. He's saying, okay, I came. But if you know the reason, when you get to know the reason that why I have come here, then you will be shocked. It is not a pleasant surprise at all. You will be unhappy to know it. Gerard, with you figuring so largely in it, that is understandable. By the way, what particular line of crime do you embrace, or aren't you a specialist? He says, with you figuring so largely in it, now the way you are asking me questions about me, I think I understand it. I totally know what is that unpleasant surprise you're going to give me. But tell me one thing. What is that particular line of crime you are good at? You know, even now we know specialists of doctors, we know specialists of other professions, but even intruders have specialists. Are they specialists? So yes, they are specialists at breaking into houses. They are specialists at robbing cars. You know, they have that skill that any car they can, break open and they can just drive it away. There are different, some are very good at murdering and so on. So he says, what are you good at? Intruder, my speciality is jewel robbery. I rob jewels. Your car will do me a treat. He says, your car is a perfect jewel. It's certainly a dandy bus. Dandy bus as an excellent vehicle that's really going to help me because I am a jewel robbery. So I need something to escape. Gerard, I'm afraid jewels are few and far between in the wilds of Essex. Now he says in this place, what you can see, we are literally, it's just like a sort of a jungle type all around, and it was a farmhouse, right? So he's saying anywhere around here you will not find much jewelry. There's nothing much to rob. Intruder, so are the cops. I can retire here nicely for a little while. He's saying just like there is no jewelry, not much jewelry around, so it goes the same with the cops. I'm sure even cops don't visit around here. Remember, he had killed a policeman, yeah? So obviously, since he has escaped, so he wants a place to hide in. And he wants to live there as Gerard, and nobody will ever doubt him, right? So he says, I'm going to really rest here, Gerard, you mean to live with me? A trifle sudden, isn't it? A trifle isn't, it's a little, somewhat sudden, isn't it? You've not been invited. He says, look, you're going to come and stay with me? I haven't even invited you. Intruder, you won't be here long, so I didn't trouble to ask. He's saying, oh, I'm not going to come and stay with you. If I come here, you won't be here. Very soon, you'll disappear. Gerard, what do you mean? This is your big surprise. I'm going to kill you. Gerard says, a little harsh, isn't it? No, that's really a little, troublesome thing. It's a little harsh, it's sharp. Intruder, with heavy sarcasm. Sarcasm, we all know, the use of irony to mock or convey contempt. He says, yeah, I'll be sorry to do it. I've taken a fancy to you, but it's just got to be done. He says, yeah, I'm really sorry about this, but I stand no choice. I have to do it. Gerard, why add murder to your other crimes? He's saying, why are you murdering? Why you are a jewel robbery? Stay with that. Why are you adding murder to that? It's a grave step you are taking. It's a very, it's a giving cause for alarm. It's a very grave, a very serious step that you're taking. Intruder, I'm not taking it for fun. He's saying, I'm not doing it out of fun. I've been hunted long enough. Since so long they have been chasing me. I'm wanted for murder already. The cops are already looking, they're searching for me because I have already committed a murder. And they can't hang me twice. They definitely cannot hang me twice, even if I do 2 murders. Now, one I have already done. If I kill you also, I will be hanged once only, no? So, it's fine. What difference does it make? You are planning a gratuitous double, so to speak. Gratuitous isn't done without good reason. You are simply doing it, the double thing, you are killing someone else. It doesn't really have a good reason behind it, so to speak. Admitted, you've nothing to lose, but what have you to gain? He says, fine, you might not lose. You will kill 2 people, but you will be hanged once. Great. But at the same time, what are you gaining? What are you going to benefit? Intruder, I've got freedom to gain. As for myself, I'm a poor hunted rat. He's saying all that I need right now is freedom. And as for myself, I'm a poor hunted rat. I'm so fed up of running. Now I want to live in one place and, just settle down. Intruder, as Winston Charles Gerard, I'm free to go places and do nothing. He says, you know what? I'm going to live as your identity. I'm going to be there and you won't be there. So I'll be safe. People will know it's you, So I'm not going to lose on anything. I'll be free to go anywhere and I'm not going to do anything. I can eat well and sleep and without having to be ready to beat it at the sight of a cop. He says, I can just eat, I can drink, I can enjoy my life. And even if I see a cop right in front of me, I will not have to run because they know I am Winston Charles Gerard. In most melodramas, the villain is foolish enough to delay his killing long enough to be frustrated. You are much luckier. Now, Gerard is again a little more smarter. So what he says is, in most melodramas, in most of these serials, the villain is foolish enough to delay his killing. Now, you're delaying your killing long enough to be frustrated. You are much luckier. In that case, you're way more luckier. You're going to really kill me fast. I'm okay. I've got a reason for everything. I'm going to be Winston Charles Gerard. See? I've got to know what he talks like. So, he's going on talking to him to see how Gerard is actually talking so that he applies, he starts talking in the same manner. Now I know that posh stuff comes easy, as in that luxurious stuff. It's going to be so easy. It's going to be mine. This is Mr. V.C. Gerard speaking. V.C. Gerard as in Winston Charles. Pantomime of phoning in imitation cultured voice. He's expressing or representing by exaggerated mime. So, he's like trying to imitate. This is Mr. V.C. Gerard speaking. He's trying to be one like him in front of him. Yeah, he was just exaggerating. Intruder. And that's not all. It doesn't stop there. He stands up. Get up a minute. Gerard stands. Now take a look at me. Gerard, you're not particularly decorative. Why do I look at you? You're not any great personality. There's nothing great about you. So why do I look at you? Intruder, no. Well, that goes for you too. He's saying if I am not that great, neither are you. I've only got to wear specs and I'll be enough like you to get away with it. He says, you look at me. We are so similar, right? All that I have to do is just wear those specs of yours and I'll become you. And that's it. I can just be free with that. Gerard, what about your clothes? That'll let you down if you're not careful. He says, okay, if that's it, specs, but what about the clothes? You have to be careful about your dressing sense. Mine is different. That'll be all right. Yours will fit me fine. He says, that's okay. All your clothes will fit me. Don't worry. Gerard, that is extremely interesting. But you seem to miss the point of my remark. You're missing something. You did not understand what I said. I said, you were luckier than most melodramatic villains. It was not a tribute to your intelligence. You won't kill me for a very good reason. He says, oh, There's nothing that you can really do. This is, you are one of those unfortunate villains and you think you are going to kill me for no good reason. Doesn't really make sense. So that's what you think. Oh, he's saying, is that what you think? And Gerard says, you'll let me go. And thank God you didn't shoot sooner. He says, you know what, you will let me go and I'm glad you did not shoot me before. You spoke to me, you tried to get things out of me, you wanted to become like me. So it's fine, I'm glad you did not shoot me earlier. Intruder, come on, what's on your mind? Better be quick, this conversation bores me. He says, okay, what do you think, what's running in your mind? Something is there, you better come out with it. I want to know because now this is getting boring. Too much of talking, it's done. Gerard, your idea is to elude the police by killing me and taking on my identity. As in, you want to escape from the police and you want to live as my identity. Intruder, yes, I like the idea. That's my idea. But are you sure it's going to help you? He says, do you think that's really going to help you? Intruder, now listen here. I've got this all well planned. I have actually planned up this whole thing. I did a job in town. Things went wrong and I killed a cop. He says, look, this is what the situation was. I was working. I did a job in town. Somewhere things went wrong and I had to kill the cop. Since then, I've done nothing but dodge. He's saying, since then, all that I have been doing is avoiding by a sudden, quick movement, dodge. And the moment I see the police, I start running. So every time I have been doing that and I'm really sick and I'm fed up of doing this. I no longer want to keep running and running and running. Gerard, and this is where dodging has brought you. He's saying, so by doing all this, finally you have come here. It brought me to Aylesbury. That's where I saw you in the car. He's saying, look, I was at Aylesbury and suddenly I saw you in the car. 2 other people saw you and started to talk. I listened. It looks like you are a bit queer. A bit queer as in you're a bit strange, kind of a mystery man. So he's saying, I looked at you, but next to me there were 2 people who also were talking about you. And I overheard their conversation. And they said that he is a very strange man. For whom? For Gerard, right? He's like a kind of a mystery man. A mystery which I propose to explain. Gerard says, oh, now that's a mystery which even I would like to explain. Intruder, disregarding him. He's like, he was literally paying no attention to him. He says, fine, just go on. You phone your orders and sometimes you go away suddenly and come back just the same. Those are just the things I want to do. Hearing about you was one of my luckiest breaks. He's saying, I did not suddenly, it was just that I saw you, I heard those people, and then I put 2 plus 2 is 4. That means I felt this is the best thing what I am looking for. So he says, I know you phone your orders and sometimes you go away suddenly and come back just the same. That is why you're mysterious, you're strange. Now these are the things I want to do, so I'm happy to know about it. Gerard, apparently you haven't the intelligence to ask why I am invested in this cloak of mystery. He's saying, as far as one can see, as far as you can see, what I can see is, you haven't the intelligence, you are not even bothered to ask me why I am doing such things, why I am invested or surrounded in this cloak of mystery, something that conceals or covers something or someone up in secrecy. Why am I doing such odd things? Why am I so strange? Why am I the mysterious man? Your intelligence is not even supporting you. It's not making you ask me that why are you doing such things? What is the reason behind it? Intruder, preparing to shoot. He says, As I said before, this conversation bores me. He says, now that's enough. Now he literally pointed the gun at him and he says, I've had enough. Now it's very boring. Gerard, don't be a fool. If you shoot, you'll hang for sure. If not as yourself, then as Vincent Charles Gerard. He says, look, if you shoot, you're definitely going to get hung. You will be hanged. But maybe not as you, not as an intruder. But yes, you will be hanged even if you are using my identity. What do you mean? What is this? Why will I be hanged if I use your identity? This is your big surprise. Now Gerard is telling him, okay, now this is a surprise for you. You gave me one, now here's one for you. I said you wouldn't kill me and I was right. He says, I know you're not going to kill me and I'm sure about it. Why do you think I am here today and gone tomorrow? Never see tradespeople. He's saying, do you even use your brain? Sometimes I'm there, sometimes I'm not there. Why I don't see people in my house, the tradespeople? You say my habits would suit you. He's saying you think what I am doing will be okay with you. You are a crook, you are a thief, you are a robber. Do you think I am a Sunday school teacher? He's saying if you think you are a crook, you think I am a Sunday school teacher, you think I am someone very innocent. The game's up as far as I'm concerned. He's saying it's all over. Things went wrong with me too. I said it with bullets and got away. Unfortunately, they got one of my men and found things the fool should have burnt. Tonight, I'm expecting trouble. He says, you know what? I'm one of your category. If you think I am also that innocent one, I am not. You're not understanding it. He says, what had happened with me was, the thing was, I also said it with bullets. I also shot and I got away. The police. Unfortunately, they got one of my men, one of my gang people, right? One of them was caught. And the things which that idiot, which that fool should have burnt away, he kept and the cops got it. So tonight, I'm expecting trouble. My bag's packed, ready to clear off. There it is. He's saying, see, you see, my bag is ready. Again, I'm there to run away. You can see there it is. Intruder, it's a bag, all right. And this is a gun, all right. What's this? He's saying, okay, fine, please clear up. What are you talking to me about? Gerard, that's a disguise outfit. A disguise outfit is in a means of altering one's appearance to conceal one's identity. You know the disguise when you all are doing that fancy dress competition, you dress as a mermaid, you dress as a princess, as a fairy. So basically that's a disguise. You are hiding your own identity and you are coming up as another identity. So this is what he's saying. This is a disguise outfit. I'm going to wear this to become someone else. False mustaches and whatnot. Now, do you believe me? He's saying all these things are in the bag. Now, do you understand the whole thing? Intruder, musingly, he was thinking, he's like, I don't know. I mean, he's sort of confused. Gerard says, for God's sake, clear that muddled head, that total confused head of yours, and let's go. Come with me in the car. I can use you. If you find it's a frame, you've got me in the car and you've still got your gun. He says, look, I'm telling you, just come with me in the car. And if you think I am doing some planning to kill you or something, you have the gun and I am with you in the car. So you can still do what you want. You are still the winner here. Intruder says, maybe you're right. He's saying, yes. Now I feel, even if you act smart, if you act funny, I have the gun in my hand and you are with me. Gerard, then don't waste time. He goes and picks up the hat and the bag. He's saying, come on, let's start now. Let's not waste any time. Intruder, careful boss, I'm watching you. He's saying, don't you dare do anything wrong. I'm watching you. Gerard, I have got a man posted on the main road. Posted as in sent to a place. He's waiting there on the main road. He'll ring up if he sees the police. He will call if he sees the police. But I don't want to leave. The telephone bell rings. Come on, they are after us. Through here, straight to the garage. He says, come on, we have to go through this and we have to go to the garage. How do I know that you are telling the truth? He's saying, come on, I mean, how do I believe you? How do I know what you are saying is the fact? It's the truth. Oh, don't be a fool. Look for yourself. He said, just save yourself. Don't be a fool. Gerard opens the door and steps away. He says, come on, quickly get in. I'm going to go there. Intruder leans forward to inspect. He's like, okay, what door is this? With his side towards Gerard, but with the revolver ready. He's like this, and he's just trying to see, what's in what's that outside in that door. As he turns his head, Gerard gives him a push into the cupboard. The moment he turns to see what is there, he just pushes him, and that's a cupboard, by the way, knocking the revolver out of his hand. He slams the door and locks it, picks up the revolver and goes to the phone where he stands with the gun pointed on the cupboard door. You see? Didn't I tell you it was witty? It was really, really intelligent and a smart move. Intruder rattles the door. He's banging the door inside and he's shouting, let me out of here. Gerard, hello? Yes, speaking. Sorry, I can't let you have the props in time for rehearsal. I've had a spot of bother, quite amusing. You see that? What do you think are the props? The one he told him, that's a disguise outfit. I need to change my identity. You see how cunningly and how smartly he weaved up another story. Yeah? So he says, look, I cannot get your props on time. Props are, the objects used on the set of a play. So those, what he was talking about, the mustaches and all, to the intruder, were actually props for someone he had to deliver who was having a play. I've had a spot of bother, as in I've had some trouble, a slight problem. Quite amusing. It's a very amusing one indeed. I think I'll put it in my next play. He says, this is such an interesting thing that has happened to me, and I'll make sure that my next play, which I do, I shall base it on this incident. Listen, can you tell our friend, the surgeon, to come up here at once? He says, our friend, the surgeon, he must be at the public bar. Just go tell him I need his help at once to come up here. And there ends the play. The intruder is in the jail. The police have finally got him. The police has actually finally got hold of that person who had been running, really escaping them. What does this story bring to you? What is the message? It was fun, definitely enjoyable. It was interesting, yes. And if you had not known the plot, it would have still had a lot of suspense, climax, yes. But what does it tell us? The great benefit of practicing mindfulness is presence of mind within a storm of emotions. Philip Moffat. He says, within a storm of emotions, you actually need to have your presence of mind. That time you should not get panicky. You should not, start, just crying, or, you're so scared that your mind goes blank. You don't know what to do. Quite often people say, oh, my mind was blank and I didn't know what to do. But this is when you practice mindfulness, this is the benefit. Yes, so it's a very good exercise, actually a very good thing to do when you have your presence of mind in the middle of any trouble. Make sure you keep practicing mindfulness. Keep watching and keep learning.